In the years since the shooting at Robb Elementary, we've listened quite a lot as frustrations have mounted, calls for action from our elected leaders. Those calls have grown.
And the mental health crisis that we've seen playing out with our students, it's really been the center of many of the talks that have been had. So tonight, investigative reporter Brian New is showing us what's being done to really address those concerns.
Even a year later, it can be hard to fathom what took place inside an elementary school in South Texas. But what is clear from a year ago,
Let me make one thing perfectly clear.
Was a promise to do something.
The status quo is unacceptable.
A promise to students across the state of more access to mental health services.
There are an array of healthcare issues that relate to those who commit gun crimes in particular. Those need to be addressed.
Last year, shortly after the Uvalde shooting, a CBS News Texas I-Team investigation found most Texas schools offered little to no direct access to mental health services for students. The state's telehealth program, known as TChat, was supposed to ensure at least virtual mental health access for all students. But our investigation found the program was not being used by more than 800 school districts across the state.
So I think the state has made this a priority.
Dr. David Lakey, the head of the state's Child Mental Health Consortium, told the I-Team last summer Texas had made significant investments in mental health programs, but more was needed.
We need to continue to put more money in and build out additional programs if we really want to have the services throughout the state of Texas that our kids need.
In the past year since that interview, 181 additional school districts have signed up for the TChat program. Now students in more than half of all Texas school districts have virtual access to a licensed school psychologist.
What we've got to do is get on the front side of this problem with a psychological assistance to students.
Craig Miller is a school security consultant and former police chief for the Dallas Independent School District. He says while improvements have been made in the past year, he believes Texas still has a long ways to go to providing the mental health help many students need.
We've got to put more counselors on school campuses so that kids who have problems and are experiencing depression or anxiety have someone that they can talk to.
Tonight at 10, we look at two other promises that were made in the days after the Uvalde shooting. One, the promise to better physically secure school campuses. The other promise was to better train law enforcement when it comes to active shooter situations. We'll tell you what the state has done and what experts say still needs to be done. With the I-Team, Brian New, CBS News, Texas.